Shalom, shalom. Welcome to another edition of I Am Israel, No Division. I am Captain Asha Sha'ala. Today is Sunday, April 30th, 2017. I welcome everybody that's online, on live call-in. Also, would like to say shalom and welcome to those that are calling in on the playback. Once again, anybody that's on the call, please put your phone on mute. I understand because we're going live right now. And I want to be respectful for those who calling in and listening to the playback so they can get the word just as clear as any of us that's on this line. I like to say to everybody on the call, welcome. As always, the tools that are needed is your 1611 edition King James Version Bible. We don't use the New King James Version. We don't use the NIV. Or any of those newer versions. We use the King James Version because it is the closest to the Hebrew and the Greek, which we understand that the Old Testament was written in the Hebrew and the New Testament was written in the Greek. We also ask that you have with you the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha are the 14 so-called lost books of the Bible. They were not lost at all. They were taken out of the original 1611 King James Edition Bible by the Protestant church in the 17th century. So those books that we've always heard about being lost, they weren't really lost. They were taken out of like whoever that is right there that's turning their pages, you may need to turn your volume on your phone down because it's real loud. The 14 books were never lost. They were taken out of the Bible, the 1611 edition Bible, intentionally, and mainly because of all of the pertinent information that it holds in the Apocrypha, from the book of First Esdras to the end of Second Maccabees. The Apocrypha was the original book that was in the original 1611 edition Bible, and it sat right in the middle of the Bible, right at the end of at the end of Malachi, and then it sat in the middle of Malachi and Matthew. And you can go online and you can go to some stores and order the original 1611 edition with the Apocrypha in it. But if you can't get the one that has the Apocrypha in it, you go on Amazon.com and you can order the hardback Apocrypha. Also, I ask that you get the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary as well and use that as a tool because we'll reference that in certain lessons as well. And it's not that everything in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary is true to what we know to be the truth, yet it holds key information to prove that the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are the true original children of Israel, the biblical children of Israel. And that's what we come to do, and that's what this word is going out across the four corners of the earth to wake up the lost tribe of the children of Israel throughout the four corners of the earth. And today's lesson, like I said, we'll be going into Cornelius and the meaning behind the whole vision that Peter had that has the Christian church today thinking that they can eat anything because they don't understand the precepts of this Bible. And when Peter was having that vision and the Most High told him to rise and kill and eat because of in the sheep, he's seen all of kinds of four-legged beasts and animals that the church, the Christian church or Christians believe that is speaking to, okay, now, once again, for them, proving that the law is done away with and that all you have to do now is pray over anything that you eat and the Most High is going to bless the food. And that's far from the truth, and it is a total lie, blaspheme on the Bible because the laws are still in effect and you cannot sit in front of a plate of pork, ham, pork chops, any of that type of stuff, and pray to the Most High to bless it, and your food has now been blessed. That is a lie. You can't sit in front of crab, shrimp, lobster, and say a prayer to the Most High and ask that your plate of food is blessed because of the fact of what you read in Acts the 10th chapter with Peter seeing a vision, and you misinterpret that because you have absolutely no knowledge of what this Bible is speaking of, and mainly because you're under the spell of religion, and also you don't read the Bible. You just go to church every Sunday and take your Bible with you and listen to a good sermon and things of that nature, or the choir singing and feel-good music, and come home and then say, oh, the pastor spoke straight to me today, which is just a total debauchery of Scripture and truth. So the very first Scripture I like to go to is John 8:32. Brother Zion, will you read that for me? John 8:32. The book of John, the 8th chapter, and the 32nd verse. And Sister Lisa, you give me Isaiah, the 28th chapter, the 9th and 10th verse. So, Brother Zion, you read John 8:32, and Lisa, you get Isaiah 28, 9 and 10. Go ahead, Al.
Book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Read that one more time.
Book of John, 8th chapter, 32nd verse. And ye shall know the truth. Truth shall make you free.
Shalom, welcome to the conference call. Who's calling?
Sister Uriah.
Sister Uriah, welcome to the call. We are just getting started. We had John 8:32, and Brother Zion brought that out. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. I like to start off all my lessons with that particular scripture first, because the truth shall make you free. In all instances of your life, always speak the truth. You know what I'm saying? Speak the truth to the matter. No matter if it hurts if it hurts somebody else's feelings, if you may believe that it's going to mess something up for you, or whatever the case may be, always speak the truth, because it is the truth that is going to lead the way to make your situation free. So always speak the truth, always, no matter the situation. Now, there's a difference between speaking the truth and using discernment. The truth is always to be spoken and known of the matter, yet when you use discernment as a person that is, if you want to say, in this word and in this truth. You know what I'm saying? And us men, we have to pray for that discernment. And your sisters, you have to pray for that discernment. Okay? And understanding, because even Paul had to have that discernment. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, people that are not in the truth, they try and use that scripture where they said what Paul said, that I beguile you. You know what I'm saying? They think that means that Paul deceived somebody with the truth, but that wasn't what it was. But I'll get into that in another time. Sister Lisa, read Isaiah 28, 9, and 10. This is how you're supposed to read and understand the Bible.
Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9 and 10. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
This is why most people can't understand the Bible, because they don't understand how to read the Bible and get the understanding through its precepts. It says, whom shall he teach knowledge? This is Isaiah saying, who's going to be taught this knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? The knowledge are the laws. The doctrine is the Bible itself. The truth. Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So you can look at that as a child that is being weaned off of the milk of this mother, and drawn from the breast. That means that it's maturing now. It's not at the state that it has to depend on the mother's breast milk in order to be fed. It can now feed itself. It has matured enough to feed itself. Shalom, welcome to
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Excuse me? Brother Tobias. We had Isaiah 28, 9, and 10. And then it says, or you can look at it like you are now matured in the truth. You have some people that come into the truth, and you get to a point where though you need to be taught the truth, And then you can get to the point. It's no different than a baby. You know what I mean? Until a baby is able to stand up and walk on his own, you have to carry the baby. And like in this word. And then it says, for precept must be upon precept. Precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So you have to go into the law, then you have to go, that's why you may see a lot of brothers, if you're new to this and you watch some of the brothers on YouTube and you see, or you watch some of the classes and you see brothers going from one scripture to the next scripture. You know what I mean? You may be in the book of Matthew, and then to get an understanding of what's being said in the book of Matthew, they tell you to turn to the book of Isaiah or things of that nature, because that's how you're supposed to understand the Bible. This is what it's saying right now. Precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Okay, Sergeant Nawab, give me Psalms 119 and 104. The book of Psalms 119, 104. Please, everyone, I encourage you to write down these scriptures so you can have this for yourself. Psalms 119 and 104.
Psalms chapter 119, verse 104. Though, or through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore, I hate every false way.
Read that one more time. Now, listen to this. I want y'all to listen to this closely. Listen what is being said here in the book of Psalms 119 and 104. This is how another precept to use right along with Isaiah 28, 9, and 10. Read 119, 104.
Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore, I hate every false way.
Through thy precept I get understanding. Therefore, I hate every false way. So if you're not getting the word through the precepts, and you're just trying to read the Bible from beginning to end, you're never going to get an understanding of this book. And that is an incorrect way of reading the Bible. You can read the Bible that way and to get the history, but you won't get a clear understanding by reading it that way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the book of Acts, the 10th chapter, and we're going to start there. We're going to start at the book of Acts, the 10th chapter. So everybody turn to Acts 10 and 1. Now, in order to get a clear understanding of what took place in the New Testament, when it comes down to all of the disciples and Paul's missionary journey, when we hear and see the word Gentile in the New Testament, okay, you have to know the history behind what took place in Israel as a people. What took place? What happened to us as a people? That's why people that go to church, well, in Christianity, they don't have an understanding of the Bible. Shalom, welcome to the conference call. Who's calling?
This is Barack. I disconnected.
Mr. Barack. That's why people that goes to church or into Christianity, they don't understand the Bible because they don't know the history. They've been taught in church that the old law or that's the Old Testament. Or that, in the Old Testament, that don't matter. It's all about the New Testament. And that's another lie. That's another lie. It's in order for you to understand the New Testament, you have to have a full understanding of the Old Testament and the Apocrypha. You need a full understanding of both. And even if you're not familiar with the Apocrypha, you definitely have to have a full understanding of the Old Testament in order to understand what's going on in the New Testament, because there was things that took place. When you read the Old Testament and you go to pretty much every book in the Old Testament, it's going to start off with the Most High speaking to the children of Israel. Whoever please put your phone on mute.
You don't want to hear.
Yeah, somebody put their phone on mute because it's loud. It's going to pick up in the playback and to the people listening. So when you go into the Old Testament and you read the beginning of the Old Testament, almost at every chapter, when you start up whatever book it is, when you go to the very first verse, it's going to tell you that this is speaking to Israel. Case in point, when you go to the book of Exodus, Exodus 1:1, it says, now these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob. Okay, that's that book. When you go now into, let's say, the book of Leviticus, and the Lord called unto Moses and spake unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, speak unto the children of Israel. That's Leviticus. Let's go to Numbers. Once again, Numbers 1:1. And the Most High spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the tabernacle of the congregation on the first day of the second month in the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt. Take ye some of all the congregation of the children of Israel. So once again, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, still speaking to the children of Israel. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 1:1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel. So when you read the Old Testament, the Most High is only dealing with the children of Israel. So why then when you get unto the New Testament, people get confused? Why did the church get confused? Well, the reason specifically was because the so-called white man, once he got into rulership, he changed the word of the Most High and turned it into his truth and not the truth of the word, and made all believe through religion that the Gentiles in the New Testament is anyone, and that anyone that was not of the seed of Israel, which is true. But then what was left out, the truth of the matter, are the precepts and the history to show that, like I just was demonstrating to y'all and reading at the beginning of each chapter in the Old Testament, proving that the Most High was speaking to Israel, that even when going into the New Testament, he's still only speaking to Israel. Only still speaking to Israel. Proof. Go to the book of Matthew. Before we go into Acts, go to Matthew, the 10th chapter. And let's go to the 5th verse. And what did Jesus say? What did Yahushua say? These 12 Yahushua, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus, sent forth and commanded them, meaning his 12 disciples, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay? So the house of Israel, as we know, had been spread throughout the four corners of the earth. So Israel, meaning the children of Israel, we were in all nations. We were in all lands over there in that side, and in all nations. We had mixed amongst all of the nations. Okay? So now we're going to get a little bit more history, actually, before we go into the New Testament. When you read in the book of Kings under King David, the nation of Israel, everything was all good. Everybody was all one. And then, as you know, when you keep reading, when you get into Solomon, and after Solomon fell off, then that's when the nation split. It split into two kingdoms, the house of Judah, which represented Judah, Levi, and Benjamin. Okay? Judah, Levi, Benjamin. That represented the house of Judah. And then you had the house of Israel, which were the other 10 tribes. And us understanding what took place with Dan, but that's another story. Okay? So you had the house of Judah and the house of Israel. They split. And Judah and the house of Judah and the house of Israel, they warred with each other all the time. They fought with each other, killed each other, just like you see us doing today. You got the Mexicans that hate Negroes, what they call themselves, M13 out there on the West Coast. They got a day where they go. They got a day where they specifically go out and kill black people, so-called black men. So that's what you see taking place today. It's always been there. The Dominicans, They don't have really no love for so-called black people. There's a division between us and some Puerto Ricans and blacks. Usually you see Latinos and so-called Puerto Ricans, and you see so-called Puerto Ricans and blacks. We get along a little bit better than, and we have a more of a relation, thanks be to hip-hop, more of a relation with each other than we do with so-called Mexicans, Dominicans, and Cubans and Colombians and things of that nature. Okay? But specifically there's a hatred to some degree between the Issacharites, which are the Mexicans, and what you see today with Judah, the so-called Negroes. We don't mix. You know what I mean? And there's a hatred, a real strong hatred out on the West Coast with the gangbanging. Okay? And that's because we've always been warring with each other and always been fighting with one another. Okay? They since the beginning. So give me 1 Kings, the 12th chapter and the 21st verse, Brother Tobiah. Give me 1 Kings 12 and 21.
Hold on 1 minute.
Okay, well, you got, whoever that is, they got a strong echo on your phone. So if you can take that echo off, then try and take it off, and then I'll come back to you to read. Brother Zion, give me 1 Kings 12 and 21.
Come. 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 21.
Oh, 21.
And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, and 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam the son of Solomon.
Y'all see that? So it said, and Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem. He assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin. So that's when Benjamin got brought back in, because remember when you do the history on Benjamin, Benjamin wilded out and went all the way off too. Okay? And it said, and 180,000, so 180,000 men, chosen men, which were warriors to fight against the house of Israel. So that was 180,000 Israelites about to fight another house of Israelites. Okay, banging against each other like we've always been doing, like you see going on today. Nothing is new under the sun. To bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam, the son, to bring again the kingdom to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon. Then it goes on to say, but the word of the Most High came unto Shemaiah, the man of the Most High, saying, speak unto Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and to all the house of Judah and Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people, saying, thus saith the Most High, ye shall not go up, nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Return every man to his house, for this thing is from me. They hearkened therefore to the word of the Most High, and returned to depart according to the word of the Lord. So at that particular point, they had gathered up 180,000 men, and they was getting ready to go fight against each other. But the Most High stopped that. He stopped it from happening. Now go to 2 Chronicles, the 28th chapter. Go to 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles. Did I get that right? 2 Chronicles. Hold on a minute. Or was it the 1 Chronicles? Hold on. Yeah, go to 2 Chronicles 28 and start at 6. Sister Barah, you got your Bible?
Yeah.
Go to 2 Chronicles, the 28th chapter, and the 6th verse.
Okay, 2 Chronicles 28, verse 6. For Pekah, the son of...
Pekah.
For Pekah, the son of Remaliah, slew in Judah 120,000 in one day, which were all valiant men, because they had forsaken the Lord God of their fathers.
You see that? Or Pekah. Now, Pekah was the king of the house of Israel. Pekah was the king of the northern kingdom at this time. And it says that he killed in Judah, the tribe of Judah, the house of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. He killed 120,000 brothers of sisters in one day. Now imagine that. You're talking about 500 a year in Chicago getting gunned down. How about 120,000 men of the house of Judah, or the house of Judah, period, in one day? Okay, in one day, which were all valiant men, because they had forsaken the Most High of their fathers. Okay, now read the 8th verse.
The 8th or the 7th?
The 8th verse.
And the children of Israel carried away captive of their brethren 200,000 women, sons, and daughters, and took also away much spoil from them, and brought the spoil to Samaria. You
see that? And the children of Israel, when they say the children of Israel, that's talking about the house of Israel. It's not talking about, so that's why you have to have discernment, and you have to understand when you're reading the Bible. Sometimes when it says Jerusalem, it's speaking about the land, and in other times it's referencing it as the people. When it says Judah, sometimes it's speaking as the land, and sometimes speaking as it's speaking as the Judah, the tribe of Judah, but then sometimes it's speaking of Judah as the house of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when it's saying house of Israel, or children of Israel, it's speaking about the northern kingdom, the house of Israel. So that's why you just can't pick this Bible up and just read it, and you have to have a man to teach you how to understand this Bible. Because you'll be totally thrown and off course, and you won't have that understanding. So at this point, the first time, 180,000 men of Judah was getting ready to war with the house of Israel, the northern kingdom, because they split after Solomon's sin. They split, and the Most High stopped it, as we read in 1 Kings 12 and 21. And we get over here to when King Pekah of the house of Israel, and also the house of Israel is called Ephraim. So a lot of times Ephraim represents the northern kingdom, and Judah represents the southern kingdom. But in Ephraim is the 10 tribes, and in Judah the 3 tribes, until Dan got cut off. Okay, so these are key things that you need to know. So but when they got to Pekah, who was the king of the house of Israel, he killed 120,000 of Judah. Okay, and then enslaved 200,000 of Judah. Okay, he enslaved men, women, and children. This is what we was doing to our own people. Shalom, welcome to the conference call. Who's calling?
Sister Yaquar.
Sister Yaquar, welcome to the call. We on 2 Chronicles 28. So understand that this is what I'm just giving y'all some history before we go into Acts 10, so you can understand what's going on, because we have to be able to show us that are in this truth and been in it for a minute, and also a lot of the sisters and the brothers that's coming in. You have to be able to guard yourself and be able to gird yourself up, go out here with this word and be able to rightfully divide the truth, because people don't have the understanding, and it's not their fault that they don't have the understanding. It's because of ignorance that they don't have the understanding, the lack of knowledge. But when you come in, the Most High choose you and wake you up, then it's your job to really, really bear down and get an understanding, because this is a serious thing. You have these people out here that's going to lose their souls, because they don't know no better. So you have family members in your life, you have friends and things of that nature. And of course, the Most High is the one Christ is the one that chooses them, because he tells you, what I'm saying, you can't choose me, I choose you. But yet we, as his servants, have to go out and spread the word and make sure that the people are getting the truth. And then Christ will, choose his elect, because they've already been chosen. So it is key that we get the understanding of this Bible, so we can then go out and teach our people. So I'm giving y'all some of the history. So as you see, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom had split, and they didn't like each other. Okay? They did not like each other at all. They fought with each other. They killed each other. They enslaved each other. Same thing you see going on today, black on black violence. It's always been there. Okay? And then the Most High just got completely tired of the house of Israel, the northern kingdom. Okay? He got tired of them, period, and cut them completely off. Go to the book of Hosea. Go to the book of Hosea and go to Hosea 1. Sister Uriah, are you there? You got the background noise?
No, I'm here.
Read Hosea 1 and 9.
I gotta find it.
Okay, I can read it, and then if you want.
Where is it between?
The book of Hosea.
Yeah.
The book of Hosea is right
after
Daniel, and right before Joel.
Okay, Hosea what?
1 and 9. Now, just to give y'all a little something, Lo-Ammi was a child of the house of Israel. So this is speaking about the house of Israel. So read the 9th verse.
Then said God, call his name Lo-Ammi.
Lo-Ammi, right.
For ye are not my people. I will not be your power.
You see that? It says, then said the Most High, call his name Lo-Ammi. So it's not talking about one person, because it goes on and says, for you are not my people. That's speaking about the northern kingdom. And I will not be your God, your power. I will not be your father. Okay? Here's another precept for y'all to lock in. And this next one says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. Okay, then it goes on to say, so we understand that the Most High casted away the house of Israel. Lo-Ammi, he represented the house of Israel. So all of the stuff that you're seeing going on with the house of Judah and the house of Israel, they were fighting and war with each other and enslaving each other. The house of Israel really was doing it because they were the wicked ones. They were the wicked ones. So that's why you may see us sometimes joking around like me and the brother Mala'ak or brother Ahmad, with AOC, the Ephraimite brothers, Magun, Yalasop, all them, and my brother that I love dearly. We pick with them because they represent the house of Israel. And the house of Israel went completely off. The northern kingdom went completely off. And so the Most High said he was going to call them a people, not his people. And this is still relating to Cornelius. But you're going to understand who Cornelius is once you learn his history. Okay? So you got, in 9th verse, he said that the Most High called his name Lo-Ammi, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. Okay? Then it goes on in 11th verse, and it says, then shall the children of Judah, it says in the 10th verse, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power Yahweh. So as we know in the New Testament, you're going to understand that the Gentiles that Paul went out teaching were not really Gentiles. They were the children of Israel. They were the house of Israel. They were the northern kingdom that split. When the split came, the Most High said, y'all ain't my people no more. Okay? Y'all not my people no more at all. Okay? And why did he tell them that? Go to the 4th chapter of Hosea. swing over to the 4th chapter of Hosea. And read me the 17th verse, Sister Shiara. 4 and 17.
I got it. Hosea chapter 4, verse 17. And it reads, Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him be alone.
18.
Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love. Give ye.
Okay. So
the
y'all
wind
see that?
hath bound her.
No, stay right there. Just the 18th verse. Read the 17th verse and the 18th verse again. So now y'all getting an understanding. This is why the Most High cut the house of Israel off. This is why you're getting ready to read why he cut the house of Israel off.
Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love. Give ye.
You see that? And it's why he cut them off. Because they was lost. They was lost. But the house of Judah, they stayed faithful to the Most High. And the Most High kept Judah, and he cut off in the tribe of the house of Judah. They considered the house of Israel to be Gentiles. Okay, because they was anybody that was not the people of the Most High was considered Gentile. And as we read in Hosea, the Most High, in the 1st chapter and the 9th verse, the Most High cast them away. He cast them away, and he called them a people that were not his people. And that's who the Gentiles were. So, in other words, the northern kingdom, the house of Israel, was viewed by the southern kingdom as no different than the real Gentiles, the real heathens. They looked at the tribe, they looked at the house of Israel, the northern kingdom, as heathens, no different than the actual heathen, the so-called white man, so-called African man, so-called Japanese, Chinese, East Indian, Arab. That's how the tribe of Judah, the house of Judah, looked at the house of Israel, the northern kingdom, Ephraim. Brother Sergeant Knowledge, you got the precept to show that Ephraim, the house of Israel, or the northern kingdom, was called Ephraim? Who got that precept? Let me see. Who's been studying a little? Nobody, Brother Tobias?
What are you looking for? What are you looking for, Art?
The precept to show that the Ephraim, because when you just read right there, read 4 and 17 again, Sister Shiara.
Okay. Hosea 4 and 17. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love. Give ye.
Right. So it's speaking of Ephraim. So remember, I told you there will be times when you would hear that they would be called Judah, and it would be specifically talking about the tribe of Judah, but then also Judah represented the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. And then sometimes you would hear Ephraim, and Ephraim would represent the tribe of Ephraim, but then also it represented the house of Israel, the 9 tribes. So in other words, right there when you see it says Ephraim in 4 and 17 of Hosea, it's speaking about the house of Israel. And that's where the Most High called them as people that was, caught up in idolatry and whoredom and things of that nature. So at that time, the Most High had completely severed the northern kingdom away from the tribe of Judah. And he kept the southern kingdom as his people because they were faithful, and he got rid of the northern kingdom. Do y'all see that? Everybody following along with that? Does everybody understand that?
Yes. Con.
Okay. So now we're going to go into rather or not. Yes, we're going to go into. Yeah, go ahead. Somebody got something they want to say? Y'all got it? Right. So now what we're about to do is show that Cornelius was of the house of Israel. Okay, he was of the house of Israel. He was of another nation. Okay, he wasn't an actual heathen. He was an Israelite. So before we even go there, go to Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. So let's get some understanding. Go to the book of Ezekiel. Yo, somebody got to turn their phone back on mute, whoever that is, because it's a lot of noise. The book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter and the 21st verse. Sarge, read that. Ezekiel 37 and 21. So now we're going to see, we got to understand the history. We understand that in Kings, once again, that after King Solomon had fell off, the Most High took a split into the nation. The nation of Israel split. He called it the split. Two kingdoms, the house of Judah, which represented Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and the house of Israel, which represented all the other 10 tribes. And then they started fighting and resented one another. They started fighting with each other, killing one another, enslaving one another. We read in 1 Kings 12 and 21 that 180,000 men of Judah was about to go to war with our own brothers. About to go to war with our own brothers, but the Most High stopped it. Then under the auspices of King Pekah over the house of Israel, he ended up killing 120,000 of the house of Judah and enslaving 200,000 of the men, women, and children. Okay, then we seen in Hosea 1 and 9 where the Most High casted away the house of Israel. He cast them away.
I got a precept.
Go ahead, bring it up.
Isaiah 9 and 21. Manasseh, Ephraim, and Ephraim, Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is still stretched out still. Salakia. Right. But his hand is stretched out still.
Right. So that's basically saying that, proving that they was going to be warm with each other, but at the same time, the Most High still was going to bring about the grace and the mercy, and was still going to bring them back into the fold, which is a good segue, because now I want you to go to Ezekiel 37 and read the 21st verse. Sarge, read that.
Ezekiel 37, verse 21. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land.
You see that? He said, and say unto them, thus saith the Most High Power Yahweh, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen. The children of Israel is the house of Israel, the northern kingdom, because Judah always stayed faithful unto the Lord. They was with the Lord. That's why when you go into the New Testament, the Pharisees, the Jews were still, they knew who they were. And that's why Peter said he ain't never sat down, with no unclean, what the church state is talking about, he never ate no unclean food. No, he's saying he's never sat with no unclean person, no unclean man, and unclean men were anybody that were the heathens. Anybody outside of the nation that weren't Israelites. But remember, the children of the house of Israel were viewed as the heathen Gentiles because the Most High cut them off. So now y'all learning in the New Testament when the scripture said Jew nor Greek, Jew nor Gentile, it's talking about the house of Israel, the northern kingdom, and the Most High was saying, y'all the same. Y'all the same people. So right here when it says, at Ezekiel 37:21, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. Read 22.
Verse 22. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountain of Yasha'Allah, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all.
Y'all see that? So he says, and I will make them one nation. So that's the split. And it says, in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. Sister Yaquar, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
It says, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. When the Most High gather us all back together, who is that king that's going to be king to us all?
Yahushua.
I said, Sister Yaquar.
Block, Yah.
Yahushua.
There you go, Sister. There you go. So I'll just pick with y'all. Yeah, I just wanted to let Sister you wanted to see, because if she wasn't, then I was going to go to, and ask other people. But Sister, yeah, that's Christ, Yahushua. He's the king that's going to be king to us all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. Okay, and then he goes on to say,
that's a Mashiach in the Old Testament also. So I just want to say that. 23. Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places, wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their power.
Now go to Acts, the 10th chapter. Let's go to the book of Acts, the 10th chapter. Now I have some information that I want to send. I'm gonna put into the room, and y'all can pull this up and look at it on Rome. So let me get that real quick for y'all. Hold on 1 second. Y'all should see it come up in the room. Hold on 1 second. Sister Adara, if she's on the line, I'm going to send it to you as well.
I'm on.
Sister Aliana, I'm going to send it to you as well. Sister Ada, if you're on the line, I'm going to send it to you. Sister Adrian, Sister Kimberly, and it should be it's also going to be in our room. Okay, so when you pull this up and you read, so get me Acts the 10th chapter and the first verse. Read me the book of Acts, the 10th chapter and the first verse. Get that for me, Brother Tobiah.
Yes, sir. What'd you say?
The book of Tobiah, the 10th chapter and the first verse.
This is the book of Tobiah.
I mean, I'm sorry. I know that's right. I know you hoping to have you a book in the kingdom, brother. If it's a book, give me.
I don't know if you want to read from now. I'm still working on it.
Oh man, that was good. Give me the book of Acts. Acts 10. He like the book of Torah. What?
Acts 10.
Now, y'all watch this closely, man. Let me show you how powerful wording is. How powerful wording is, and how people read things, and the eyes can play a trick on you, and you not even understand what's taking place at the time that you really read it. Read the first verse, just the first verse.
Are you saying Acts chapter 10, verse 36?
No, Acts chapter 10 and the very first verse. 10 and 1.
Oh, Acts chapter 10, verse 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band, called the Italian band, a devout man.
Stop right there. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band, called the Italian band. Called the Italian band. Okay, now, just like we see today, when you go into the army when you go into the military forces here in America, right? Do you not have a whole lot of Israelites in America's armed forces? You got blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Indians serving in the Army. You got blacks, Latinos, Native Americans serving in the Navy. You got blacks, Latino, Native Americans serving in the Marines. What's some of the other ones? The Air. I forgot the rest of them. Army, Navy, Marine. You got
the Navy, the Marines.
Yeah, the Army, Navy, Marine. You got our people in all of these military forces of America fighting for America, fighting for Esau. This is nothing new. When you go into the history of the Roman Roman forces, the Roman military, and just Rome period, you had sellout, tomb niggas, Negroes, okay, sellouts who joined themselves unto Esau, joined themselves unto the oppressor. See, there's literally nothing new under the sun. Everything that has been done before, it's being done again. Nothing is new. So in those times, you had Israelites joining unto the Roman forces, and just like today, you got Israelites all off into the Army, Navy, and the Marine. It ain't nothing changed. So then it says, so now we're going to get to find out who Cornelius is. Just because of his name, and just like then, just like today, we got, until we changed our name to Hebrew, our name was Danica. Or our name is Tina. Our name Dante. You see what I'm saying? We took a hold to our oppressor's name. Same thing we did then. The exact same thing that we did then. We took on our oppressor's names and all identity. They did it then, and we do it now. Ain't nothing changed from then to today. There's absolutely nothing has changed. We're going to go into that. So when y'all pull up that bit of information that I just sent y'all, when it says who was in the Roman army, and it says who was in the Roman army, and I got this right here from one of the elders. Who was in the Roman army? It says only men could be in the Roman army, no women. So that's a bit different than what it was today, because now they don't even give it there. They throw the women all out there too. Only men can be in the Roman. And you say what?
I said, and they let homosexuals in now. They let everybody in the army now. Everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the Roman army, the Romans, they wasn't nothing but homosexuals, all of them. The white man himself is a homosexual by nature.
Fine.
No, the so-called white man, he is a homosexual by nature. Please, all of y'all on this phone, understand that, and y'all sisters. And then go tell some of them other sisters that y'all see having conversations and stuff like that. That's why some of these black men out here is homosexuals. Because we adapted the lifestyle of our oppressor. Black men weren't homosexuals. We weren't homosexual men. We didn't have no thought like that in our mind until the spirit of idolatry, all types of whoredom, wickedness, homosexuality, just like Sodom and Gomorrah. This all came onto us by living around our oppressors. Okay, so it says only men could be in the Roman army, no women. Every Roman soldier was a Roman citizen. Okay, y'all hear that? Every Roman soldier was a Roman citizen. Is not every American soldier an American citizen? Do you see any Chinese men living in China fighting in American armies? No. You have to be an American citizen. No different than this. So now we're getting to who Cornelius is. Every Roman soldier was a Roman citizen. He had to be at least 20 years old. He was not supposed to get married while he was a soldier. Most soldiers in the Roman Empire came from the countries outside Italy. So what did it say? There was a certain man in Acts 10:1, man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band. But as we see, the majority of the soldiers, they were not soldiers that were from Italy. They were outside of Italy. Africa, France, Germany, Balkans, Spain, Middle East. Okay, now what does the word centurion mean? Let's get the definition of the word centurion. I'll put your thinking caps on with me, and let's walk. We're gonna get some lesson today. The centurion. A centurion is the commander of a century in the ancient Roman army. And what is a century? What is a century? What does a century represent?
100
years.
100 years.
So 100, right? Or 100, or 100 in general. So the commander, he was the commander of 100 men in the Roman army. Cornelius was. So when it says there was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, he was the head of 100 men. He was in charge of 100 men. Now, let's segue from that real quick, and let's go to Maccabees in the Apocrypha, the first chapter, and let's see how not only did the northern kingdom, to show that how the northern kingdom became heathen and became like unto Gentiles because of their wickedness, going all off into idolatry and things of that nature. Go to 1 Maccabees 1 and 11. Let's go to the book of 1 Maccabees in the Apocrypha. The first chapter and 11 verse. Sister Adara, give me 1 Maccabees 1 and 11. Let's get a little history from here to see also how our people went into dealing with and conforming to the lifestyle of the heathen, of our oppressor. We need first Maccabees and start at the 11th verse.
Okay. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for we departed from them. We have had much sorrow.
So see that? It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men. Okay, wicked men who persuaded many. T.D. Jakes, Creflo Holler, $4. Reverend Messi Jackson, Reverend Al Sharpton, wicked men. Pastor,
Was it okay one?
Pastor Money Earning Mount Vernon at the Word Church. Okay, In those days when they're out of Israel, wicked men who persuaded many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow." Meaning, listen. You got some people. I've heard some people say. I've literally heard people say out of their mouth that we can't survive without the white man. And this person was dear to me. They said, we can't survive without the white man. Now, what did it just say? They said that from them, we have had, since we departed them, we had much sorrow. That's going back to the same Negroes that Moses rescued out of Egypt and brought into the wilderness. And what did they do? Complain. Complain. Man, you got us out here, man. We was in Egypt, man. I was living fat, man. At least I had me. They didn't mind being enslaved. Just like today. When you try and wake brothers up to this truth, sisters up to this truth, they think they living. They think they fall. What you talking about? I'm fine. I got me a Benz. I own me a shop. I got me a nice house. They think they doing something. But what is Kanye West telling you? You still a nigga in the Benz. And some people say, well, I'll just be a nigga in the Benz. I don't mind being a nigga in the Benz. You Uncle Tom, I was about to say Uncle Tina. But yeah, you ain't Tina no more. So you Uncle Tina coon self.
Watermelon.
Auntie Tina, Uncle Tom and Uncle Tom and Auntie Wilhelmina. That you would rather, and that's what they did. They complained, and all through the Book of Numbers, when you read the Book of Numbers, that's all Israel did was complain. Complain. Now you done been brought out of captivity, but you didn't view that as captivity, and that's the same thing that's going to happen when Yahweh shall return. It's people that's going to be complaining again in the wilderness. Wow. Complaining again. Man, shit, I excuse my friends, but I just keep an eye how we talk, you know what I'm saying? I was good. And that's how people think. They think selfishly. They don't think of as a nation. You good, but your brothers and sisters is out here starving. You got a Benz, but your brothers and sisters is out here sleeping up under bridges. You got a fine house, but your brothers and sisters out here taking shelter in shelter homes. You got your own business, but your brothers and sisters out here don't have no job. And we already showed y'all where the part they told you during them times, whatever the person who had more money, if you had 3-4 homes, all of that type of stuff, big bank account, you got all this stuff that you can call out that you got a Benz, this, that, and the third. You're supposed to bring that before the prophets and sell it. You're supposed to sell it and bring it before the feet of the prophets and let it be equally distributed throughout your people. All these multi-millionaire and some billionaire black, Latino, and Native Americans in America with all this money, we don't need the white man no more. Niggas got enough money. We don't need the white man no more. We got enough money to listen. We maintain our own economy when we do Black Wall Street and Rosewood down in Atlanta. We had our own economy down in Georgia, I believe it was. We had our own economy then, and we didn't have as much money as back then as we have right now. And they were thriving businessmen and businesswomen. There was lawyers, doctors, hospitals, schools, all kind of stuff. Right here in America, in the state of Oklahoma. So the government got mad and it seen what we was doing. It came and dropped bombs on their own soil. The same thing then is the same thing now. Always complaining. Always complaining. Read the 12th verse, sis.
Okay.
Verse 1 and 12. And keep reading.
So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein, they that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
You see that? They went after they went to the king and act because they just joined the heathen. Keep reading.
And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant.
What? I think you got to read. No, you skipped the 14th verse.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
Whereupon they built a place of exercise in Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
Stop right there. You see that, y'all? So these group of this multitude of number of Israelite men went to the king and asked basically to become a part of the king. Uncircumcised themselves. So just totally gave away they inheritance, their nationality, everything. And forsook the laws. They just said, the hell with the laws. And joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. This is who the disciples and Paul went back to rescue. Okay? Went back to rescue because why? What did it say in the book of Ezekiel when we read Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, and the 37th chapter and the, let me see, 37 and
21.
21. What did it say? It said, and say unto them, thus says the power of Yahweh, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen. Somebody put their phone on mute again. Take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. Okay? So the Most High was coming to gather those people that we read about right here in Maccabees, and the northern kingdom that we read about in the history, and how they split, and the Most High called them a people that were not his people, people with no God in Hosea 1 and 9. And then prove and show why he did that in Hosea 4 and 17, because they went off into idolatry the way they did, and there's other scriptures to prove that as well. So now we understand that. Now we're going back to Acts, the 10th chapter. I want to give you all some of that history. Now we're going back. Now we understand in Acts 10 and 1 that there was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius. Okay, so we already know that. Just like today, we took on the customs. You just read that. Sister Adara just read it to you. They took on the customs, and the heathen took off of their inheritance, gave up their as far as their ethnicity, their names, our customs, our culture, and became heathens. Okay, and just like we're called Americans here in America, because when we read and I sent y'all that information, and it told y'all that that he was a Roman citizen, just like today we are Roman citizens. I mean, we are American citizens, but we are not truly Americans. No different than Cornelius. Now it says that he was a centurion, so he was a ruler of the band called the Italian Band. So now we're going to find out what is the Italian Band? What was the Italian Band? So I'm going to put that into y'all into the room as well. Hold on a minute. So y'all can look at that and pull that up. So y'all should have that too. So you can go in the room and look at that. We're going to see what is the Italian Band. Did it come up? I don't know if it came because mine didn't come up. Let me see if y'all's coming up. Okay, yeah, it should come up. Okay, right. It says, a unit of the Roman army in which Cornelius of Caesarea served as a centurion. Served as a centurion. Did it say that he is a centurion? Served as a centurion. He was. It said in the Bible's only reference to it, Cornelius is said to have been an army officer of the Italian band, according to Acts 10:1. So that's why I wanted to. And then what does it say when you slide down? It says this was probably a cohort so named to distinguish it from the regular Romans legion. A cohort in full strength consisted of about 600 men. That is about 1/10 the size of a legion. As its name implies, this cohort was probably made up of volunteers mustered in Italy, having Roman citizenship, either as a freeborn man or as a free man. So either meaning you was born an American citizen, or you became an American citizen. Okay? It was either you was born an American citizen or you became an American citizen. So before we go even deeper into Peter's vision, let's see if that's true. Either born a citizen of Rome or you paid to become a citizen of Rome. Let's go to Acts, the 22nd chapter, and start at the 25th verse. Brother Zion, read that for me. Acts, the 22nd chapter, and the 25th verse.
Con. Book of Acts, chapter 22 and 25. And as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the Salaki, and as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned?
Keep reading.
When the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, take heed what thou doest, for this man is a Roman.
You see that? So the centurion, he ran and told the chief captain, yo, you better, you know what I'm saying, yo, take heed what's popping. This man right here, he a Roman. Keep reading.
27. Then the chief captain came.
Now he's talking about
unto
Paul.
him.
Hold on. So y'all see what's going on. This man, it says, and as they bound him with thongs, because when you it says, as he bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned? Talking about himself. When the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, take heed what thou doest, for this man is a Roman. He's a Roman. Okay, then the chief captain came and said unto him, tell me, art thou a Roman? And what was said?
He said, yea.
Right. Paul said, yeah. And then read 28. What did he say?
And the chief captain answered, with a great sum obtained I this freedom. And Paul said, but I was freeborn. You
see that? So the chief captain answered with a great, he said, the chief captain said, I paid a lot to become a Roman citizen. I paid for this. And then what did Paul say? Paul said, yeah, but I was free, but I was born here. Now, was Paul a Roman, y'all? Who can give me the precept to show what Paul was? Now, Paul right here, they asked Paul, was you a Roman? He said, yeah. He said, but I was paid. You paid. The chief captain said, I paid to become, I paid a lot of money to become a Roman citizen. And Paul said, but I was born here. But was Paul a Roman? Who knows the verse that tells, the chapter and the verse that says what Paul was?
Romans.
What is it? Somebody got to put their phone back on mute. Whoever that is.
Is it Romans 9:3?
No, sir. Somebody bring it out. No, sir. Sarge, where you at?
Second.
Sister Rob, where you at? No, Second Corinthians. No, that's not. No. Not what I'm looking for. Somebody got to put their phone on mute, please. If it's somebody that want to answer it, but you make the phone got all that noise, inbox me. Am I still on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody don't got that answer?
One
I
second.
thought it was second.
It's one I'm looking for in particular that Paul is going. Right here he says that he's a Roman. But it's something that I'm looking for in particular where Paul tells you exactly who he is and what tribe he comes from. Read me what y'all think it is. What
it was 9 and 3 that says what tribe he from.
I got 2 Corinthians 22.
Read your Romans 9 and 3, and I'm telling you where he's going to say it fully. So read your Romans 9 and 3.
Book of Romans chapter 9 verse 3. For I wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh.
Somebody got to put their phone on mute, like seriously. Keep your phone on mute because you interrupting the system. I know you may not be doing it on purpose, but please try to keep your phone on mute. Read that again. You say Romans 3. This is not it. This is not it.
You want Acts chapter 22, verse 3, where he says, I'm a Jew from Tarsus. Is that what you're looking for?
No, sir.
Yeah,
no, sir.
It's not 3.
No, sir.
You want me to read it anyway?
It's in Romans.
Well, he said he's a Benjamite?
Bring it out then.
I think it's Romans 11.
It's Romans 11 and 1. Now you can put that's your line, Tobias. But you was right. Go back. You can put it back on mute, and I'll read it. Right. Y'all want to know? Remember right here what we just read. Hold on, hold on 1 second.
They all good.
Okay, so remember he just said that he was a Roman citizen, but what does it say in Romans 11 and 1? Bring that out, Sergeant.
Okay. Romans chapter 11, verse 1. I say then, have the Most High cast away his... Oh, wrong one, right?
No, that's it. Read it. Bring it up.
Say then, have the Most High cast away his people? The Most High forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Y'all see that? So he told the centurion, he told the chief captain that he was a Roman. Okay? Because he was a Roman citizen. He was born in Rome. He was born there, like us today. We born here in America. But are we Americans? No, we are Israelites. It's no different. No different than what y'all see taking place today. That's exactly what we see taking place then. So read that again in that Acts. Bring that out one more time, Brother Zion. Acts 22, 25, 26, 25 through 28.
Chapter 25, verse 28.
22.
Book of Acts, chapter 25, verse 20.
22.
Oh, no,
22 and 25.
25. Which verse? Huh?
22 and 25.
Acts 22, 25 through 28. So we just read in Romans 11 and 1. Y'all pay attention. Paul said, I say then, has the Most High cast away his people? Most High forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So Paul just let us know who he is. He said, I know I'm an Israelite. And not only am I an Israelite, but I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. So now you're getting ready to read. We're going back to Acts, the 22nd chapter, Acts, the 22nd chapter, and the 25th to the 28th verse, and we're going to read that again to show y'all what he was saying. Now it should make sense to you. Read the 25th verse.
Book of Acts, chapter 22, verse 25. And as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, Is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned? 26. When the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, Take heed what thou doest, for this man is a Roman. 27. Then the chief captain came and said unto him, Tell me, art thou a Roman? He said, Yeah. 28.
Paul said, yeah. Keep going.
And the chief captain answered, With a great sum obtained I this freedom. And Paul said, But I was freeborn.
Y'all see that? So now we're still thinking about Cornelius. Just because Cornelius' name is Cornelius, and people get thrown by that because he didn't have a Hebrew name, okay? And just because he was a so-called centurion, okay, and was a commander of the Italian band, that don't mean that he wasn't an Israelite. Because as we read in the history, when y'all pulled it up and looked it for yourself, it showed you that you was a Roman citizen. But a lot of the people that were in the Roman armies were men that were not from Italy, but they was outside of Italy, just like you see today. You go to the armed forces here in America, you're going to see a lot of people that's not so-called European.
Colin Powell.
Right. You're going to see a lot of our people that's in the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force. It's the same thing, y'all. It's nothing different. This is what we've been. And what did Jeremiah say? Is Israel, what is it, an unborn slave? I mean, we just forever been in these types of predicaments. So Paul said in Romans 11:1, as God casted away his people, God forbid. For I too am an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. But here he's letting you know that he understands that he's a Roman citizen because he was born in Rome. Born in Rome. That's all that's doing right here, y'all. Now we're gonna get to the meat of Peter. Because in every captivity, the oppressor took us captive and put our men in their army and gave them high position. And almost all of the captivities that we was in, that's what they did. They would take our men, women, and children, put us in captivity, and then they would take the men and put them in their armies to fight for them. To fight for them, no different than what we see going on today. And that's always been the case. It's never changed. So let me get y'all. Let me pull something out on that too as well. I'm gonna show y'all something too. Y'all can look in y'all inboxes as well. It says at this piece that I just pulled up, I wanted y'all to show y'all that like in every captivity, that's what they did. The oppressors would take us captive. Once they had us captive, they take the men and put the men in their armies. Put the men in their armies. Now, how many of y'all have the book of Josephus? Like I got the book of Josephus.
I got it.
I'm gonna read an excerpt. If you go in my book is page 268, or what would be the Antiquities of the Jews, and then it goes into the 13th. It's the 13th the 13th book. The 13th book in that from the death of Judas Maccabees to Queen Alexandra's death. And now it says, I put that excerpt in y'all's, but and I sent y'all an excerpt from it. Hold on to it. Those who may not have the book, I just sent it to y'all inbox. And I'm going to read it. It says, I also make free all those Jews who have been made captives and slaves in my kingdom. I also give order that the beasts of the Jews be not pressed for our service, and let their Sabbath and all their festivals, and 3 days before each of them, be free from any imposition. In the same manner, I set free the Jews that are inhabitants in my kingdom, and order that no injury be done them. I also give leave to such of them as are willing to enlist themselves in my army. You see, I also give leave to such of them as are willing to enlist themselves in my army, that they may do it, and those as far as 30,000, which Jewish soldiers, whithersoever they go, shall have the same pay that my own army has. And some of them I will place in my garrison, and some as guards, Cornelius, about mine own body, and as rulers over those that are in my court. So you see, it's no different. That's what they did with Cornelius. He was an Israelite, but he was put in charge and made commander. And we're going to go on further to even prove that. Let's go to Acts. Stay in the book of Acts. Now let's go to the 9th. Let's go to the 9th through the 14th verses. Acts, the 10th chapter. Acts, the 10th chapter, and we're going to read 9 through 14. I'm going to read that real quick, y'all. It says, on the morrow, the 9th verse, on the morrow, as they went on their journey and drew nigh unto the city, Peter went upon the housetop to pray for the 6th hour, about the 6th hour. And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they made ready, they fell into a trance. Okay, so Peter fell into a trance. And what is a trance? What is a trance? Let's get the correct definition of what a trance is. He fell into a trance. It says, a half-conscious state characterized by an absence of response to external stimuli, typically as induced by hypnosis or entered by a medium. Okay, so he was in a trance, half-conscious, okay, in the 9th verse, the 10th verse, and saw heaven open, and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet knit at the four corners and let down to the earth. And let down to the earth. Wherein all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air. And there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter said, Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. Anything that is common or unclean. Now, when we get to the 15th verse, excuse me, this is going to tell you the whole point of what's taking place right here. 15. And the voice spake unto him again the second time, what the Most High has cleansed, that call not thou common. Okay? It says, and what the Most High, excuse me, has cleansed, that call not thou common. What did the Most High cleanse? What did the Most High cleanse? All nations? Everybody can be cleansed? Let's go to Ezekiel 36 and 22. Let's go to Ezekiel. Let's find out. Is that cleansing to all nations, or is it to a particular people? And remember what happened, y'all, to the house of Israel. They had became a people that were no people at all, that didn't have no God. So when you go to Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, the 22nd verse, let's find out. What did it say again? Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Most High Power, I do not this for your sake, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went. They forsake the name of the Most High and profaned it among the heathen. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them, and the heathen shall know that I am Lord, saith the Lord Power Yahweh, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land. 25, and listen good. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. Okay, will I cleanse you. So when Peter was having that vision, and he said, and there came a voice in the 13th voice to him, rise, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter said, not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. And the voice spake unto him again the second time, saying, what the Most High has cleansed, Christ said, what the Most High has cleansed, that call not thou common. Why? Because he looked at Cornelius as a heathen. Because Cornelius was from the house of Israel. He was looked at as a Gentile, a heathen. That's how Peter was looking at him. But this is the Most High putting Peter in a trance to let him know, hey, listen, you about to be an integral part of bringing back the house of Israel and Judah, who you are a part of. You're going to fulfill the prophecy in Ezekiel. You're going to fulfill the prophecy in Ezekiel. Okay? In Ezekiel 36, and then what did it say in Ezekiel 37:21? Give me that, Zion. You're going to fulfill that prophecy we just read in Ezekiel 22. 25. And I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. That is what the Most High is doing right now with Peter. That's why Peter is having this vision, because the Most High is using him to restore the house of Israel to where those two separate nations shall become one again. Okay? They're going to become one again, just like he promised. Just like the Most High promised. Read that again, Ezekiel 37:21 and 22, Zion.
Come. Ezekiel 37, verse 21. And say unto them, thus said the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all.
God. So now let's go back to Acts again. Let's go back to that. When it says, and the voice spake unto him again the second time, saying, what God hath cleansed, that cause not thou uncommon. Because we just read in Ezekiel 36 and 25, the Most High said, then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you. Now, stay away from that. The church will say, see, that's why you got to get baptized in water. That's why you got to get baptized in water. Well, let's find out what that water is. Get me Ephesians, the 5th chapter, and 26th verse, Brother Kalakia. Give me Ephesians 5 and 26. Let's find out what that water that the Most High was speaking about. He's going to sprinkle that little clean water, and this goes back to the census when y'all had y'all Sabbath yesterday, and the things I discussed with y'all about the Most High speaking and everything like that, and speaking through the Word. Ephesians, right?
Oh, go ahead. Ephesians what?
5 and 26.
Ephesians 5 and 26. That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
Y'all see that? That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. Kalakia, get me Psalms 119, 104, please. This is why this scripture right here, Psalms 119, 104, is very important. Because people won't understand this Bible, period, without understanding this right here. Psalms 119, 104.
Psalms 119, 104. Through my precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way.
You see that? Through my precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. Why? Because you sit up here arguing with somebody. You sit up here arguing with somebody, and they don't know nothing. They all off into the false way. They don't know nothing. You sit up here trying to tell them what it is, but they don't know. They don't know on the DMX side. They don't know. They don't know. And then a lot of times it ain't for them to know. And it ain't nothing that you're gonna be able to do about it. Absolutely nothing that you're going to be able to do about it. But that scripture right there is very... Read that one more time for me, Kalakia.
Hold on, I had to turn my page. All right, we at Psalms 119 and 104. All right, Psalms 119, verse 104. Through my precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way.
Right. That's why they're not going to understand when you're talking to them. It's not for them. Because they can't. Sister Adrian, you there?
Yes.
Give me John 15 and 16. Watch this, y'all. Give me John, the book of John, the 15th chapter and the 16th verse.
You said John 15.
This is Yahweh Shai speaking.
You said John 15?
Right, John 15 chapter and the 16th verse. And this is a cut right here, y'all, to when you go when you're in the Christian church and the pastor stand up here and say, now we're going to open up the doors of the church And come ye all, come as you are, come unto the Lord. And you come down here and you're going to get saved today. And then we're going to baptize you on the first Sunday of the month. Just cut that right here. This is coming out of Christ's mouth himself. What did Christ say? Says John 15 and the 16th verse.
John 16:16 or John 15:16?
No. John 15:16. 15th chapter and the 16th verse.
St. John 15, chapter 15, verse 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you, that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you.
You see that? The main line I wanted that out of that was the very first line. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. You cannot choose the Most High. Yeah, he picked out his 7 disciples. I mean, you can't choose Christ. He picked out his 10 disciples, that 12 disciples, but it later became more. But that's synonymous. I mean, that's the metaphor was showing you that you can't. Christ choose you, the elect. You have been chosen. All of y'all that's on this phone, that's because the Most High selected you. He may not call your mother. He may not call your father, your sister, your brother, your auntie, your cousins, your best friend, your best friend that you grew up with, your homegirl that you've been rolling with all this time, that now you have to separate from. Okay? Your sister or your brother or whoever, your mother, whoever it is. You have to separate yourself now. Because Yahweh Shai going to do it anyway. Because if you live the truth of this word and you really stand on Christ and live your life for Christ, a lot of things are going to come tumbling down. London bridges falling down in your life. Expect it, respect it, and celebrate it. But that means you one step closer to the kingdom. One step closer to the kingdom. Yes, Sister Ashley, that was a good point. She texted me a precept. That's a good one. That also to show you that the word, you cleanse by the word. John 15:3. Now ye are clean through the word, which have I spoken unto you. Now, it's another one that's even another precept in Peter, 1 Peter, 2 Peter. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Watch this, y'all. Go to 1 Peter 3:21. This is all proven about this is another thing that's proven about baptism. That you don't got to get baptized by that water. You'll hear some Israelite camps that tell you got to get baptized. The true baptism is the baptism of the word, the cleansing of the word. Just as Colossians read in 5:26. What was that? Ephesians 5:26. And Sis just read right there. I mean, it's pulled that piece of John 15:3. Now go to 1 Peter 3:21. Sergeant, now I read that. 1 Peter 3:21.
1 Peter 3, verse 21. The like figure whereunto even baptism doth also now save us, not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, but the answer of good conscience towards the Most High, by the resurrection of Hamashiach Yahushua.
Y'all see that? The like figure whereunto even baptism now also save us, but what he put in his parentheses. Not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, not by the water, but the answer of a good conscience towards the Most High. The answer of a good conscience towards the Most High. The answer of a good conscience towards the Most High. And what is a good conscience? Let's read it. Romans 7 and 12. That's why Kalaki just read y'all that Psalm 119, 104. There's some precepts. You got to understand this Bible through the precepts. Romans 7 and 12. What is good? It says, not by the putting away of the filth of the flesh, but by good conscience. What is good? Romans 7 and 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just, and good. The law is good. That's what's going to baptize you in this word. Okay? Understand that. So now, getting right back to that, and we're going to close this out so y'all get an understanding of this, of Peter and his vision. It says in the 15th verse, and the voice spake unto him again the second time, what the Most High hath cleansed, that call not thou common. So we understood that the cleansing came when we read Ezekiel 36:22 through 25, and then when we read Ezekiel 37:21, when the Ak read that 21 and 22, and then we found out in Ephesians 5 and 26 that it's the word that cleanses it. Okay? Now, let's go to Acts 28 to show y'all. Bam, he ain't talking about no food. He's talking about a man. Acts 10 and 28. And he said unto them, ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. Okay? One of another nation. But no. Wait. Slot. Before I do that, let's go read the 16th verse. Let's go back to the 10th verse and the 16th verse. 10th chapter and the 16th verse. It says, but let's go with the 15th. He says, and the voice spake unto him again the second time, what the Most High hath cleansed, that call not thou common. So we already understand what that is. Okay? This was done how many times? Thrice. Pay attention to this, y'all. This was done 3 times. And the vessels was received up again into heaven. So Peter had this vision 3 times. 3 times he had this vision. 3 times. 3 times he had this vision, right? What the 17th verse say? Now while Peter doubted in himself what this vision which he had seen should mean, behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Simon's house, and stood before the gate, and called, asked whether Simon, which was surnamed Peter, Peter's name was Simon, were lodged there. Now watch this. While Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, behold, how many men come there, y'all? 3 men seek thee. Those 3 men were the representation of those 3 visions. In the 16th verse. Those 3 men were the representation of the 3 visions that he's seen in the 16th verse. That's what that represents. Now, close it out in the 28th verse. He said, and he said unto them, ye know that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. But that's why did he say of another nation? Because that's how they look at all of the northern kingdom as another nation. As you read when we read in the Maccabees, how they went and turned themselves over to King Antiochus and joined on with them, uncircumcised themselves, forsook the Holy Covenant, and became Gentiles. So the southern kingdom looked at the northern kingdom as Gentiles, another nation. Another nation. And we read that they would be looked like that when we went into Ezekiel 36:22 through 25. And then it says, or come unto one another of another nation, but the Most High have showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Okay, and was that any man? And was that talking about? Was that any man?
No, he was just talking about the northern.
Exactly. Not talking about any man. This is not talking about any man on earth. Let's go to Ephesians. Colossians. If you said that, take me to Ephesians 5:5. We're gonna close out on that.
All right. 1 second. You said Ephesians 5:5.
5:5, right.
All right. Ephesians 5, chapter 5, verse 5. For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Yahushua and Yahweh, and of Yahweh.
Right. Now, and who was Paul speaking here to? The Gentiles who did not know they was Gentiles, but they were Israelites calling themselves after Gentiles. That's why he said in the first verse, be ye therefore followers of the Most High. A native, a true heathen, or a heathen by nature, he can't be no follower of the Most High. And then he says, as dear children, and walk in love as Christ also have loved us and have given himself for us as an offering. For us. For us. Who did Christ die for? The whole world, the whole earth, all people who he died for. The children of Israel. Matthew 15:24. Is that right? Matthew 15:24?
15:24.
Yeah, yep, gone.
And then what? Acts 5:29 through 31. Okay. Let's get those so y'all can see that. Matthew 15:24. Let me pull that real quick. Matthew 15:24. What did he tell the Canaanite woman? But he answered her, it says, 22. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away. They're like, get her out of here, man. But she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay? Stay right. Go to Acts 5 chapters over from the 10th verse. Go to Acts 5 and 29 through 30. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. The Most High of our fathers raised up Yahushua, whom you slew and hanged on a tree. Him hath the Most High exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sin. All this right here in the New Testament. Right in the New Testament. So don't let nobody tell you that it changed. They did not change. All right here in right here in the New Testament. They always try to come with that BS when these Christians are inside the church. They don't know no better. They want to stand strong on their ignorance like they do know what they're talking about. The law is done away with. Christ died for everybody. You don't know what you're talking about. And I say that humbly. I say that humbly to you. I mean, I'm being humble, but you really don't know what you're talking about because you don't understand the precepts. And it's a must that you understand the precepts. Matthew 5:17, Yahushua said, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill it. That's right. He came to fulfill it. And he fulfilled it when he died on the cross. That don't mean that the law was done away with. That's not even what that means. Yeah, it means that he was going to die on the cross, but it makes something that's it meant something else as well. Let's find that in Acts 3:18. Acts 3:18, it meant something as well. In the book of Acts, the 3rd chapter, the 18th verse, what did he say? But, 17, started 17. And now, brethren, I wot that through ignorance ye did it, as did also your rulers. But those things which the Most High before had showed by the mouth of all the prophets, Daniel, Ezekiel, Moses, all of them, that Christ should suffer, he hath so fulfilled. Meaning when he died on the cross. But that don't negate or turn away what he said. Think not. He said, don't you even think that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass. The heavens is still in the sky, and we still rotating in the heavens, and we standing on solid ground, which is the earth. One jot or one tittle. Let me finish that out. One jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall teach, whosoever do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Brandon, go ahead.
Right. I just wanted to go back to Acts 10. I was going to ask you a question. I don't want to prolong it, but down in verse 30, 10 and 30, in 31, it talks about Cornelius praying, and his prayer was heard, and then he gave alms, in the sight of God, he forgave him. But he's the God of Israel, and the Most High don't hear nobody else's prayer, right? No other nation's prayer. So wouldn't that also determine that he's a Israelite also with that right there?
Right.
I'm just asking.
Right. He's not going to step outside of that. He's not going to step out. He's not going to step outside that. Of course, that dude. He said, therefore, 29th verse. Therefore came I unto you without gainsaying, as soon as I was sent for. I asked, therefore, what intent ye have sent for me? And Cornelius said, 4 days ago I was fasting until this hour. And the 9th hour I prayed in my house. And behold, a man stood before me in bright clothing, and said, Cornelius, thy prayer is heard, and thine alms are had in remembrance in the sight of the Most High. So it's giving, once again, I go back to the alms, the power of alms. And that's even when you go in the book of Tobit, that's why I tell y'all, when he said, give your alms. Your alms saves you from death. Okay? And increases your fold. Because giving alms is an act of faith. When you don't have too much money, even if it's speaking about money, because in the book of Tobit, it's speaking about your money. So when you don't have but a little, and you you need it to pay your bills and this, that, and the third, it's you giving your alms that the Most High is going to bless you to increase your food. So you give your alms in understanding that is going to be your blessing to increase your food, just like Cornelius did, just like you told Cornelius right here. And said, Cornelius, thy prayer is heard, and thine alms are had in remembrance in the sight of the Most High. So closing that out in Ephesians 5, what Kalakia was reading, just to show y'all what it was speaking about, and it said in the 5th verse, for this ye know that no whoremonger, no unclean person, that unclean person is talking about Israel, because in Ephesians, the 5th chapter, Paul is speaking to the Israelites. And with that being said, I would like to say peace and blessings to each and every one of y'all that's called in live, and those that are listening to this on the playback. I hope that today's lesson was edifying to your soul, and that from this moment on, you begin to search deeper and research deeper in the scriptures. I am Captain Asha Allah. You can find me on Facebook, Dante Beasley, DonteBeasley, and also you can catch me every Wednesday and Sunday right here on this free conference call online. 712-775-7035. And the code is 240035. And you can also reach me on my website, www.iamisrael12.com. And with that, I say, Shalom, shalom.